And again, like interview questions, this again can be a shortcut, but this helps. Main thing is getting the core correct. And then the shortcut would be like, to formulate the questions on what you have learned. So how the questions could be. So this really helps you. This is an extensive, comprehensive, place where you get data science questions for each and everything, like time series, 40 time series questions or 40 machine learning questions. I didn't even go through all the links in that particular link. I went through 2 of them, 40 questions on machine learning or 40 data science interview questions, and then 40 time series questions. So how many of you have started working on time series problems? Forecasting. Because it's not there in our syllabus, right? Okay. First thing, it is not practically possible to keep in any course to teach you everything. This is what I have learned, right? So it's up to you. It's your responsibility, right? To how much, if it is not there, whether we have to take it or not. So tomorrow, if someone asks for your, and forecasting is a very regular use case in many of the projects, right? Forecasting or time series analysis. So you cannot say that we do not have it in syllabus. And it's not a very very complex concept. To start with, it's a very basic concept to understand, and then you can get into deeper of it. There are like many concepts associated, but again, to start with, it is not very difficult. So you can look at those things. Again, this is not deep learning, right? Forecasting is just the basic thing what we have in machine learning itself. So you can look at that, and this one again, Springboard. There are some videos from Springboard interviewing the data scientists and all that, so you can look all that. But again, I don't want to provide you more data that you will get lost. But take this as a structure that this is the place you want to go for this. That's it. And then you definitely can fare much better than others in the interviews, right? And again, to tell you the reality versus expectations. So when I started looking for interviews, this is what my thought was, or my expectations was. Because there are no real data scientists, or there are very less number of them, you may not be getting very great questions. This is what I thought. Even if you, so this is what even we started the course with. Even if you talk all the machine learning jargon, you will be, good enough with fair chances. But that is not true at all. The interviewers out there, they are really good at what they are doing, right? They know what they are talking about. So do not underestimate, please. And do not go with an idea that, I'll talk this, and then, what they can be knowing. This is all new. This is all new technology, and they shouldn't be knowing all this, right? So don't get into that attitude. So the interviews are really not easy. But the fact is, openings are there. Like, there are plenty of openings. That is a good thing. That is the bright side we should look at. And just because there are plenty of openings doesn't mean that they will take anyone and everyone. So you should put your efforts, and you can really get it, right? And so what worked for me, again, I'm not telling that I have worked everything on, on my way and then got an offer or something like that. I don't know what's in store for me. I didn't even join the company yet. So I don't know how I'm going to perform. I'm really scared about that for now. The interviews part is done, so I have to be performing. So, but what works for me, I think, is I worked in analytics for the last 10 years. So analytics projects as descriptive analytics, reporting. But that's no very brainy stuff, what I have done, right? But since I have done some sort of reporting and dashboarding thing, that gives me a little bit of understanding on how analytics projects work as on a whole. But that's it. That's it. That doesn't, give you any insights on how data science projects work and all that. So that worked for me. And what worked against me? Yeah, my experience, because I am definitely competing with those 6 years, 7 years experience without knowing that I was looking for the wrong role, data scientist role. So it was a very tough time for me to get there to the final rounds and then, go off, they cannot pay you the package that you are thinking of or whatever it is. So that, and they will probably fit someone better who is very, who has 6 years, 7 years of experience to work with than me. Why should they take me, right? So that worked against me, and yeah. And throughout the process, you will get through this. You cannot escape this. So you get a clarity of you are selected, not selected. That's the best thing. That's the best part. But in the meantime, that you will be having this wait time, like you think you have done this interview really well, or you think you have done this interview probably better, but you don't know the results, so you are waiting for the HR to come back. So this happens. Don't let that come into your mind, and do not, do not let that bring you down if you hear a rejection. Even if you think you have done the interview really well, much better than the one that where you have got selected, but that doesn't guarantee you that they are going to call you or they are going to make you offer. So there could be many factors that comes into play when making an offer. So those factors, do not let them get into you for not getting demoralized, because there can be approvals and all that. So this happens because I know what happens at my own in our own organization, how things work. So that are external factors that are not in your hands. And also do not expect HRs to come back and tell you that, hey, sorry, we could not make you and all that. So very little number of HRs tell that, right? And if they tell you, just thank them. I mean, that is like making peace with them and moving forward, right? Not making peace with them, making peace with yourself. Okay, they didn't do their part, and I did my part, and just I'll move on. And there is this link which my friend recommended this when I was like bugging him every day that, hey, these guys didn't call me. Hey, I submitted my assignment, and this happens, right? You reach out to your friends and tell these guys. And so after some time, he just sent me this, like, go through it, like how to be mentally tough in your job search. Like, give it some time. So this is what I put it for myself. Like when I started, I gave it some 3 to 4 months of time, or 4 to 6 months of time. This is the time frame that I have set for myself to think of getting a job. And practically that is what I started with. So luckily I got a job. That doesn't mean that, I did very well or something like that. But practically 3 months is a good time to get through all the job opportunities that are there and to understand what the market is and everything, if you are not actively looking for interviews already. So yes. I'm sorry, I didn't put that on slide. I got 2 rejections because I'm not from telecom. One is not from telecom, one is financial. Yes, that is important, but that do not stop you from applying. See, you have done really well on machine learning part, and you have done exceptionally well on explaining your domain expertise. There could be chances that you can pick up the other domain. Not that I have worked in I have worked in 2 organizations before coming to this organization. Not that I have worked in the same domain all through, right? So they would be looking for. Actually, there is one company's interview where they started asking you for 3. They gave me 3 use cases: one in healthcare, one in retail, and one in marketing, I think, or financial. I do not know what is it, but they asked me to tell that what is the use case that you can think of in this particular domain, and come up with the data that you may need. Like if you are a data science person, you need to know what data you are going to deal with in that particular domain, right? If you have domain expertise. So they asked me like this, like think about the data that you want and what kind of problem you are going to solve for this particular use case, and what kind of models you would be using for that. So for this, yeah, definitely look at these popular domains of FHR. I'm not sure what are those financial FHRI or whatever they call. So retail, financial, healthcare. So think of these use cases, and again, subscribe to Medium blogs so you keep getting the things right, and look for what can be the use cases for commerce, e-commerce, or what can be the use cases in retail, and what can be the things, and question yourself like what kind of data they would be handling with, right? So yes, domain knowledge is very important because that's how you will actually solve the problems, by understanding the domain well. So yeah, but for interviews, there is no guarantee that you are going to get the domain same what you are working on. So think about 2-3 use cases for all these most famous domains like telecom, all this. At least you will have something to talk for, and at least that shows that you care about this particular job, right? So this particular job, whatever you are working.